Hey, I want to ask you a question. What is the difference between being busy and being on fire? You're thinking, oh, that's a good question. Yep. People being busy, there's tons and tons and tons, if not the majority of America and all across the world, people are busy with their jobs doing things. But let me ask you a question. Where is that getting you? Where is that taking you? Where has that got you moving towards? See, a lot of people are busy building other people's dreams, building other people's companies. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But what if you were busy and also on fire? Let me explain the difference. Being busy is going after some type of result, doing a task, being busy, and really you may be really good at it. But being on fire is where you're going after something that you dream about, something that you're excited about, energized about, something that is inside of you. And that's why that you can even a part-time business. I've told people if you really want to build the beginnings of wealth, you need some form of ownership. You need some form of a business. I don't care what it is. You start part-time and you move into it. And I know one young lady that, as a matter of fact, she started part-time. She was a nurse, but she wanted to have her own agency, nursing agency, to where she would, hire nurses out for particular things in home care. And to make a long story short, she was very excited about it. She researched it, she studied it, and then she started asking questions about other people that were involved in it. And about 6 to 9 months later, she started a part time business where she had her and one other nurse. And to make a long story short, they built it to a multi-million-dollar business over the next 4 or 5 years. What if she just stayed a nurse? Nothing wrong with that. She would have loved it. She loves nursing, but she wanted to multiply her ability to be able to impact people, to help people, to be of service to people. Today, she has a multi-million-dollar business. And what if she had decided, well, if I was supposed to do this, and then, I'm going to have to quit nursing? No, I told her, I just said, look, what if it doesn't happen? But at least you tried. At least you gave it everything you had. You'll feel better about it. What you need to do is you need to start researching it. You need to start making notes, finding people that are in that business, talking to them, answering your question, getting your questions answered. And the most important, you need to stay connected to your dream. That's what research and that's what talking, as well as interviewing people about it, preparing to launch. And you're busy with your work, you're busy doing what you need to do. And she was busy as a nurse, but then she caught fire with wanting to have a nursing agency, a staffing agency, or an in home staffing agency. What if you could do that? What if you could be busy doing your job, busy doing your work, busy doing whatever you want, but you're on fire on the weekends and on fire on certain evenings, because it's always God, family, then business. And that fire drove you to build something you never thought possible. People today, as a whole, are part of a walking army of mediocrity. And most of them don't have any hope. They get up, they go to work, they get a paycheck, and they do their job over and over and over. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but let me ask you a question. What about your dream? You are building somebody else's dream. Nothing wrong with that, because it's giving you a paycheck, you're paying your bills, thank God. But what about your dreams? What about what you want to do? Why couldn't you be busy doing what you're doing, but be on fire for your future? Because you started a part time thing, passion, whatever you want to call it, that you know is going to be huge someday. Then there are those that are beyond busy. They are on fire on the inside because it's blazing like an inferno. FIRE stands for a force inside of relentless expectation. Did you get that? It is a fire, it's a force on the inside of you that has a relentless expectation that your dream is going to show up, your dream's going to be captured, your dream's going to happen. That's what fire stands for. When you're on fire for something, you are driven by this force on the inside because you're relentlessly expecting that you're going to capture this dream. It's going to happen. It's going to appear. It's going to show up. And see, with that, your expectations start becoming burning hot. And you want to see something different. The expectations on a job being busy or the expectations on building a dream, they're two totally different worlds. You can build wealth part time. I don't care what your passion, what your obsession is. You can build wealth part time, but you got to catch fire in the heart. What are you expecting? Let's be real. If you're right now today, what are you expecting for your future? And you're thinking, well, I don't know. What are you looking for? What are you anticipating? Because whatever you're looking for, whatever you're anticipating, whatever you're expecting, you're telling the brain, let's go get it. Because you train your brain, and the brain then changes your behavior for what you're expecting, what you're anticipating, what you want, what you dream, what you hunger for. You're training your brain to go get it. And my mentor said, inspect what you expect. I've heard that saying before, but when he said it, I don't know, it just impacted me tremendously. He says, Douglas, always inspect what you expect, because if your expectations are too small, you're going to be disappointed. He said, I would rather have somebody expectations way too big versus way too small, because you can always grow into the big, but you don't want to shrink to the small. Expectations that you have right now, your expectations for your life, for your business, for your income, for your future, they actually define your beliefs, your thinking, your focus, and ambition. And these expectations are a mirror of your thinking and what you really truly hunger for. My expectations for the next 6 months is humongous. Yours should be too, because you have no idea the power, the fire that's just getting ready to be released into your life that drive you forward to doing something that others call impossible. See, at the core of a fire burning in your heart, there are certain things. At the nuclear core of a heart on fire, I call it heart fire, is hunger. You got to be hungry. As Les Brown says, hungry. You got to be hungry. You got to have extreme hunger, extreme expectations. You got to have extreme determination. All those things go along and drive your actions you take. I would much rather have somebody, and I want you to get this, I would much rather have somebody that's extremely on fire, less talented, but I will take that person over somebody that's extremely talented and just busy. The reason why is because I will get more done part-time with this person than a full-time with the busy person. You must be on fire to ever build wealth and to ever succeed. That's it. It is a force inside, relentlessly energized, relentlessly expanding, relentlessly expecting, FIRE, what you want out of life. Ignore all the naysayers. They're going to show up. And I don't want to get into it on this video, but most naysayers are negative because that's their world. That's how they grew up. Nobody ever exposed to them the greatness that's inside of them, the amazing things God put inside of them. And I did a radio show for about 6 years, from 2000, I think about 2013 to 2019. And for 6 years, I did a weekday show Monday through Friday called The Millionaire Road. And I always ended every single show, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every week, every day, with the same thing. There's a millionaire inside of you. You decide who wins. Ignore all the naysayers. You're going to win anyway. Why would you listen to them? You're going to go to the top anyway. Why would you listen to them? There is a millionaire inside of you. And you truly decide who wins. And it will be a battle. The old version of you versus the new version of you. Whoa. That is a battle sometimes. What you need to do as we start wrapping this up, ignite your thinking, your actions, your belief, your tenacity. Ignite them with expectation, because you're going to achieve what you really truly want in life. And you need to have the rule of NOPO, no other possible outcome. I've been teaching that for 2-3 decades. No other possible action, period. That was my alarm. You can tell. No other possible action. And you have to have this NOPO in all you do, all you think, all you dream. And if you have this where there's no other possible outcome, folks, I'm telling you, you will catch your dreams. You will catch your dreams. And you're going to be burned through any negatives, burned through any resistance, and burned through any naysayers. That is the difference between being busy and being on fire. You better be on fire. And if you're building something extraordinary, this is the place. Lock this in. Lock this video series in. Subscribe, follow, share. The reason why is because we're going to be doing some crazy stuff here. It's going to help you. And, in 2, 3, 4 months with these videos and you watching them and learning, and get your fire journal. Take notes. Why? Because it's going to have content, a lot of content you've never heard before. Some motivational, some inspirational, some leadership, some communication, some wealth, some success, I mean, just all kinds of topics, but all of them are going to have information you've never heard before. I promise you that. Like, subscribe, share, follow, spread the fire.